In this video, I'm going to share why you should not move to Frisco, and if you still want to, 5 things on how to secure a home in Frisco, Texas, if you're up for the challenge. Hello, my name is Dana Pollard, and I'm a real estate agent in Texas, in Dallas-Fort Worth in particular, but we also have team members all throughout Texas. And yes, this housing market is still on fire, and it's still on fire in particularly in Frisco, Texas. So many of our clients want to know more about Frisco, and the market is just nutto. But not just Frisco, we're talking Frisco, Prosper, Salina, McKinney, Plano, all of those cities surrounding Frisco is just berserk. It's crazy pretty much in any major metropolitan area in the country right now still. But I want to give you why Frisco in particular is so crazy, as well as if you still are just set on Frisco, Texas, and I'm going to give you 5 tips on how you can secure a home. If you were thinking about moving to Texas, fill out my dream home questionnaire in the link below. We also have a Espanol questionnaire if you speak Spanish, hablas Español, and we have a Spanish-speaking agent that you can fill that out if you choose. And but anyway, just to let you know, we have some amazing agents who are experts. They are specialists in helping buyers secure offers in this market. So fill out the questionnaire. And if you live in Texas, fill out the Sell My Home questionnaire if you're thinking about selling your home. So let's talk about why you may not want to move to Frisco right now in this crazy market. Well, first off, it's crazy. The offers are so competitive at all price points right now. So whether, homes start at about $260,000 in Frisco, and they go on up to $6.5 million right now in Frisco. And at all price points, it's very competitive. And so to secure a home, it's just difficult. I mean, you can have cash or fantastic financing. You can go above ask price. You can put in an appraisal waiver. You can do everything right and still not get the home. And so for that reason, you may not want to move to Frisco because you may get frustrated. But if you have time and patience and very aggressive when putting in offers, then hey, let's go to town, right? And let's see if we can make it work. But I do still want to give you 5 ways to secure them in just a minute. But let's talk about why you may not. So that's the number one reason why you may not want to move to Frisco right now, is because the market is super crazy. We have had, I have a client right now looking at about 1.5 million. And so these listings, they may be listed at 1.5, but many of them go 1.6, 1.7, and 1.8 million dollars. A $600,000 price point may go for $850,000. So what you see on the internet for list price may not be what you get. Most of the time you're putting it in at least 15 to 20% above asking if it's a newly listed home. Okay, reasons why you should move to Frisco, which that's not what the title of this video is there's a plethora of entertainment. It's wonderful. You have the Star, you have shopping, you have Stonebrower Mall, you have beautiful neighborhoods. Neighborhood after neighborhood is just beautiful. It's a sea of beautiful neighborhoods. However, with that comes a very high population. So the second reason you may not want to move to Frisco is this population is creeping close to 300,000. It's above 280,000 residents now live in Frisco, and there's still room to develop. In fact, Frisco Fields is on the next hot topic, which is coming toward the end of, I want to say 2023. They're already starting to build the PGA headquarters, but that's, if you don't like a lot of population in a city, that may be another reason why you don't want to move to Frisco. Recently, we started doing these DFW tours, okay? And it was very interesting to me how many people said they preferred the Fort Worth tour over the Collin County tour. Now, Collin County is, we do it a Collin County tour because it encompasses Frisco, Plano, Salina, Prosper, McKinney, some of those very, very popular cities that many of you want to move to. And hey, I've sold it. I love Collin County. I feel like they are the best developed county in the state of Texas, and I bet everywhere in Texas, guys. So I love Frisco. It's beautiful. It's a new development versus older development. So I always say if you love new and shiny, Frisco's the place, right? Or if you like a lot of entertainment, Frisco's a great place to land. And I still stand by that. But it was shocking to me how many people said as we drove through the Fort Worth side, the North Fort Worth, we're talking South Lake, Keller, North Lake, even Haslett, which is a country town, how they preferred the Fort Worth side to the Collin County side. So that was a shocker to me, guys. So you have to come visit for yourself to see what your preference would be. I don't know how to get inside your head. So if you like new and shiny, but the trees are not as spectacular in Frisco, that could still be your option. But if you like a hometown feel and more trees, possibly the North Fort Worth area is more preferential. So there you have it on that. Another reason you may not want to move to Frisco is it is quite a drive to downtown Dallas. And so if you anticipate driving to Dallas on a frequent basis, maybe you have a job down there, or possibly you love to just go down there for entertainment, Frisco with the traffic is getting to be quite a good distance, at least an hour during rush hour. Another reason why you may not want to live in Frisco is if you commute to Dallas on a frequent basis. And so ever since, COVID is kind of starting to get behind us, traffic has significantly increased, and the commute time from Frisco to Dallas is getting longer. And so if you don't want a long commute time, you work in downtown Dallas, you may not want to move to Frisco. However, if you land a job in Plano, that's perfect because it's a shorter commute time, 15-20 minutes. Or if you get to work from home, then that doesn't really affect you a whole lot if you don't go into Dallas for entertainment often. The next reason you may not want to live in Frisco is what you can get for your money in a house is significantly less than if you went a little further out or even to the west side of the Metroplex, especially if schools are not important to you. If you don't have kids in schools or they're not important to you for some reason, then you can find a city that the schools are not as highly ranked because, as you may know, or maybe you don't, Frisco is in the top 5% for test scores in the state of Texas. So it makes it very attractive to live in Frisco for the schools and all the amenities that the schools have to offer. But if that's not important to you, then you may consider finding a home in a different school district or a little further out. Okay, so let's talk about the 5 things you can do if you still want to get a home in Frisco, Texas, because it's a hot area and you were just set on Frisco, okay? Let's talk about these 5 strategies. First, I would say maybe adjust your wants list, okay? So I know that we all want like a home that fits perfectly for our lifestyle or our at-home needs, but maybe for now, go ahead and purchase a home in Frisco, but maybe not with the normal criteria. So purchase a home now, maybe it's lower priced, maybe it's smaller, and stay in the home until this hot and heavy market cools down. Once the market cools down, you will still have gained equity in your home, and at that moment you can then transition into your dream home, okay? So maybe just lower the criteria. And if your dream home comes along and you want to jump in on the action, by all means, we'll get in on the action. Just know that most of the time, just adjust your criteria, and then later you can, go in and get your dream home. Number 2, and this is my favorite one of the 5, is have your real estate agent, again, fill out my questionnaire to talk with my amazing agents, have your agent adjust your or maybe even create a second search. So you can create as many searches as you want in the MLS, but you have your regular search for your criteria that you love, and then you have your secondary search for homes that maybe are less than ideal, and maybe a third search with homes that have been on the market for 7 days or more. So right now, I just did a search in the MLS for homes in Frisco that have been on the market for 7 days plus, and there are 24 homes available. That tells me you can get a home in Frisco, but it may not be your first choice. And again, go ahead and secure a home, live in it, make it your own, and move into your dream home when it's time. So now you're saying, Dana, I don't want any of those homes because there must be something wrong with them. I hear that quite often. Usually what's happening in those homes that have been listed longer, there's several reasons. It could have fallen out of contract for a number of reasons. It could be inspection issues, or it could be that the buyer's financing fell through. It could be that the buyer just got cold feet or their job situation changed. We really don't know, but it could be because the home is relisted, okay? The second thing that it could be is maybe it's listed poorly. And so as I was looking through the pictures, I'm like, wow, these pictures do not do this home justice, which is why you always want to get an experienced, amazing, not mediocre, amazing real estate agent to list your home, because you will always get the highest price, okay? And so if they are listed poorly or they have poor pictures, it could be sitting on the market. Another reason it could be sitting on the market is maybe there's a little more work to do in the property than most people, 80% of the population, is wanting or willing to do. So if you are willing to go in and update it, you may just get yourself a little piece of heaven. And the last reason it could be on the market for more than 7 days is it really is overpriced. Like, they started overpriced. We always say that you never want to overprice your home. Now, don't get me wrong. In this market, people are overpricing the homes, okay? And then they're still going above asking. But then there's this ridiculous, unrealistic number. That could be why it's been on the market for so long. And if that's the case, that's okay. Go ahead and put an offer in at where you feel it's fair, and you may be able to hook a home. The next thing is you may want to go a little further out. Now, again, this may not be your ideal situation, but again, wait till the market cools off, then you can jump in a home in Frisco. And you may want to even consider the Fort Worth side. So even though it's still a hot market, you're not typically competing up against 50 offers. You may be competing against 2 to 10, or maybe you don't even have to compete at that level. Or you can get a new home on the Fort Worth side. In Frisco and Salina and all that, there's waiting lists right now, and they can be of 200 people or more, and then builders are only able to release 1 or 2 homes per month. So you may want to forget the new home route unless they're listed on the MLS. The next tip is maybe you want to combine those two. So you may want to go a little further out and find homes that have been on the market for 7 days or longer, and it'll just expand your options. And so what we want to do is open your window of opportunity as much as possible so that you can find a home. And those are some options, as well as maybe the school district. Maybe you don't have to find a home in Frisco ISD. Maybe you can find one in, there's so many good school districts around here, guys. It doesn't have to be Frisco. There are many, like even Keller ISD, Northwest ISD. They may not be in the top 5%, but they are in the top 15 percentile, and they have great reputations for public schools. So don't eliminate the top 15, 20 percentile of schools because you don't think they're good, because they really are, because we have just so many school districts that are great in Texas. Also, on that note, rankings aren't always the best way to determine if that school district is right for you. It could be the programs they have for your kids. Maybe they specialize in something. So there's many things and factors to consider. Maybe a large school district versus a small one. Many things to consider other than 5 percentile, or you know what I mean. So just be open when it comes to school districts. And the last tip that I have, if you still want to move to Frisco, is connect with a real estate agent that may have pocket listings. Now, what is a pocket listing, Dana? Well, a pocket listing is a listing that we have as listing agents, and we know it's coming onto the market. So we may sign a listing agreement a week, 2 weeks, 2 months before we actually list the home. It gives us time to prep and get it ready for the market. And so what happens is, like, I'm with Keller Williams, and we have this huge network of agents, not just in my immediate office, but all the offices up in Frisco and in Dallas and all the cities surrounding, that we exchange pocket listings. We are the largest brokerage in the area, which means we have more pocket listings than any other brokerage. And I'm not just trying to sell Keller Williams, I'm trying to, I just want you to realize that what is at your disposal that's not on the market yet. And so we have so many homes that will get a clue before it may go active. And so we can put an alert out there to say, hey, who has a pocket listing? And they'll let us know when they have a pocket listing. And maybe we can get in on the action before it goes live. So I hope that these tips help. Let me know if you have any questions. My email is in the link below, as well as fill out the Dream Home Questionnaire, and we are happy to get started on finding you that special home.